What's up, guys? This is Valor Gaming, your channel for fresh Arena of Valor content, and patch 37 has been introduced to the game. It's online right now, so I've been playing a game with all the new additions that came with the new patch, and not many heroes have been touched by the patch. In total, we've seen something about Lorien, we've seen something about Murat, and Baldoom as well as Xeniel have been touched by the patch. And I thought this might just be a good chance to try out the new Xeniel with a complete open outcome. I'm not really a fan of Xeniel to start the video with, but I just wanted to see if the champion has actually been a little bit better with the patch increase. That said, they have tweaked around some stuff about his passive, so now you are dealing additional damage with the passive, and in addition to that, especially the ult has been tweaked a lot. We do get some more damage reduction, as well as the new cool effect that has been added, which means that you can activate your skill number 1 early while being teleported. I think that is actually quite handy, so you do not enter the fight just standing there barely with all your guard down, but you will have your shield up, which is actually a quite nice damage dealer, at least what I found in the upcoming game. And yeah, let's see if this has changed any kind of ways how Xeniel is actually contributing to the game. So equipment wise, blah 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 blah. Okay, I haven't really done this. Okay, this is the tutorial. So we are going to change it to tank, and we are going to change it to Xeniel. And I have been taking the gear that is called heavily armored. So as you can see from the equipment, we have taken the cleansing support item, and the rest of it is pure tankiness with some utility, especially with here the Holy of Holies with 400 ability power, but the rest of it is tweaked around being as tanky as possible, with some damage coming from the Mantle of Ra with the unique passive. And then we're going with the enchantments to make him a little bit more durable. We are going with a Father Tower Blessing, we're going with a Father Nature's Gift, and we're of course going with Explosive Shield, because this is by far the best enchantment that you can get if you want to have some more durability on your support heroes. And in terms of the second additions, we're going with Sacred Beat, so that our ultimate gets a better cooldown, because your ultimate is actually your bread and butter, and the Devour here in the second suggestion for the second line to get kills or assists, restore HP or mana. So this is basically the build. Arcana wise, if you want to check it out, ability power, blah blah blah, this is this. So we've got 10 times Violate, 10 times Benevolence, and 10 times Violence. This is the build that I've been always taking on my mage supports. So with the talent in addition to that, I think that's actually quite capable, but we guys are going to see if that is the truth for Xeniel, or if this is not the case. So let's get started with today's video. Enjoy. Alright, here we are, and we are back into the game with all the new graphics and all the new details. This is the first game that I've been playing on the patch 37. So if there are any other videos beforehand, this was the first game that I actually played on the new patch with the new Xeniel. And I would say let's talk about the team composition at first to determine who is stronger, just by telling from the heroes that have been chosen. So as you can see, I am here on the duo lane with Telenas. Telenas is a really strong choice. She's got great range. She's got a lot of crowd control abilities, so she is quite versatile. She's actually really good on dealing damage, and as you can see, we have just been nuking Toro to the limit, so he's dead. We are facing a Valheim Toro lane here, and I would suggest that it's basically quite even. Toro is a little bit stronger in terms of the durability. He is really doable, a lot more durable than I am, and you guys are going to see while the game is going to continue how durable Toro actually is. I think I'm not really a match for him in terms of the tankiness. Valheim is a straightforward champion who is actually quite decent, and I think a lot of players underestimate him just because he's some sort of the noob champion. I've got a lot of videos talking about these issues on him as well, but I think he's actually quite capable of carrying games, and you guys are going to see that in this video as well. On the mid lane, we've got Marja versus Marja, so that's basically a matchup where it really depends on what skill the actual player has, of course, with all the team fights that are going to take place. And then in the jungle, we've got Murad, who has also got a buff in the latest patch, so he is one of the few champions who has been getting a little bit better. And then on the solo lane, we've got Tulin versus Malok, but I think Tulin plays more some sort of roaming champion, and you guys are going to see how beneficial that is if you are not really actually sticking to your lane, but you see your value in roaming to places where people are actually going to need you. So I try to come down here with my ultimate in order to protect my fellow teammates. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. We are about to lose the tower, but I tried to make an entrance here in order to protect my team. That said, we do take the Darkslayer here and also a Zil kill. So 4-6 is the score that we're talking about, and I think that is fairly okayish at the beginning of the game. 5-6 is the score right now. So we basically repelled and kind of retaliated for everything that they've done so far. But in my opinion, on the duo lane especially, we did not really do a great job, because great flicker here, because Telenas was playing a little bit out of position most of the times, and you guys have seen the result that has just been given to our team in advance, because yeah, that wasn't great, and I think that death could have been prevented. So yeah, here we go. In total, I would say the enemy team has a small advantage just because Tulin is so strong right now. I don't really think that the patch in terms of the itemizations and stuff has really changed things. And I don't think that Murad is actually a good choice when it comes to countering Zil. I mean, that was a big misplay here from the Zil, because he has just been out of position as well. So Telenas was able to just snipe him from afar using her S1. But I would say that the opposing team has the upper hand. Look at that Murad kill here, and now Telenas has been killed as well. So I think that was actually not executed in a way that it could have been, because now the game score is already 7-10, and we need to kind of make progress to come back from that score. In terms of big monsters, the advantage is on our side, because we have already been scoring one Darkslayer here because of the actions that Malik was been undertaken. But look at that, like it's a tank match, so there's not really that much that I can do against Toro. I've already been getting my first support item to the fullest, so cleansing is done. To get rid of all those pesky things that the guys are going to throw against me. I don't know what Telenas is doing right now. Yeah, she did the red buff, but this is kind of a big question mark. Why are you going to take the red buff if you see that your support is fighting on the one hand? And why are you taking the red buff at this early stage in the game? On the other hand, because Murad is a hero who is ramping up quite slowly, you do need to get some kills in, or otherwise you're going to have a really hard time to get into the game. So I can't really see why you would do this. It's not something that I would advise you guys to do, especially if you are not the hard carry so far. And Telenas has not really been showing herself from the brightest side in this particular matchup. That said, we have been trying to get back into the game, and I would say the 10-12 is going to show that things are actually going back in our favor. It's not the score that you actually want, because of course you want to lead the game at the first 6 minutes. I try to get in here in order to make Toro just kind of pay for his overly aggressiveness, but unfortunately it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. He hasn't been dying, and that's what I said when I'm talking about tankiness. Toro is a tanky beast. It's just crazy how well this champion can be played in the full tank role. Completely underestimated the speed of Valheim and Toro to come back to the dual lane, so that was a big misplay from my perspective. I said it when I was playing with my friend here, playing Marja. That was a no-go. That was completely stupid. I completely overestimated myself. I just saw that there's a lot of gold to get from this lovely dual lane push, but in the end it turned out into something that I would rather not have. Going in here for the Darkslayer because I just wanted my team to finish it, hoping that my team would hold the lines on the dual lane with Marja and Malok and not being killed. But as you can see, the enemy is roaming down on Murad. He's going to have a really hard time by now because he is actually falling behind. And now we're trying to sort this team fight out. But as you can see, all the damage is incoming. I don't really have any measures of getting that damage into something useful. Telnas is trying to help us here, but I think that was a big disadvantage. So I can't really blame her for not killing that many heroes. I mean, she's got the gold lead, which is actually quite fine. 1,000 gold less than Valheim. So Valheim is really taking the lead right now. And we are just in a really bad position. As you can see, the score is 11 versus 17, and we do not really make any sorts of plays around the towers. One tower is down, one tower isn't. It's still standing, so that is still a big threat. And the enemy has already been taken down 2 towers, especially in the mid lane tower, which we got as well. But this tower here on the dual lane is still standing on full health, and I thought that we could take Valheim and Toro here without any problem, but Toro is so tanky that the enemy is just basically laughing at us and taking a dual kill or a double kill for Valheim here. That was really lackluster. I thought that we had the better measures in order to get them. I don't know what Murad is telling about New Valheim. I was like, is this guy serious? Is this even real? Is he even playing the same game that I'm playing? Because Valheim has been doing such a good job by now. And I wanted to try to write Ultra LOL, but it came out to Ultra Mol. I don't even know what that means, but I think you guys are getting the point. So we have a uphill battle to fight. It's going to be quite difficult. Valheim has a 2-level increase over myself, and you can see how easily he shreds my life away. I think in hindsight, it would have been better to focus on something that is going to protect me from Valheim's incoming damage. For example, with something like a Thorn Mail or something. A Mail of Pain is the name of it in this game, or any other item that is going to help me, for example Shield of the Lost, but I was focusing on this build and I wanted to try it out, so I've got Mantle of Ra instead, and I think that is not the best item to take in this particular sequence, and the 14 versus 23 is already going to tell you how bad the game is actually in our favor, or not, because it's not really in our favor. So we tried to get Zill here, but of course he is super mobile, so he doesn't have any problems on getting away here. Telnas is already quite low, so we can't really make a play here. Murad is trying to help us here on clearing out the dual lane. Telnas is now going back in. I think that was a decent choice because there wasn't really a threat that she had been caring about trying to get Tool, but of course Tool is super mobile. He's like one of the most mobile champions in the game, and therefore I don't really see a chance on getting him. Now I had myself going back into that team fight again. Don't really know if that was clever, but now my team is going in, and I think that was actually quite worthwhile because now we've got the chance to fight them. But unfortunately, Zill doesn't have a big time going into our lane. Marja's going down. That was nicely executed. Now Telnas is about to get the onslaught, and this team fight was actually quite nicely. I'm a little bit worried, or I was a little bit worried that Murat wasn't paying attention to the fight, still trying to fight his jungle game. I mean, yes, that's your main occupation. You should always care for your jungle and try to get as much out of that jungle as possible. But if you see that your team is actually going to fight something, why not put yourself into that fight and be useful instead of not participating and risking your team to lose the team fight? That said, Valheim and Tulan are both leading the kills in the enemy team, so those guys are the main issue here. Those are the guys that we need to focus on, as well as Toro, because he's actually someone who is basically messing with our plans because he's super tanky. And if you guys have been watching videos on this channel, you know Kraden, and he is a premier Toro player. And if you have ever seen one of his videos, and if you haven't, just look it up on this channel. Look for like Toro games here. It's just crazy how aggressive Toro can be played and still maintaining health. It's just, I don't know. Many players are actually not feeling Toro in any kind of way because they think he's a weak champ. If you have mastered Toro, he is a force to reckon with because he's just got so many measures on transporting fights into the team kills and into the team fight situations. And Toro is actually a champion that can turn the tide of the battle with ease. Now we some sort of kind of got back into the game. That was actually quite nice because we were able to win this team fight without any problems. So from the team fight, 4 of our team are still standing. But I think the mistake that we've made so far in this particular scene is that we not really pushed it to the maximum. So I would say our complete determination should have been to get into the mid lane and really fight those minions into the mid lane. But as you can see, now people are starting to chase Marja. Why? Murat is going to some other lane. Again, why? The only hero that is starting to accompany me is Telenas. And I think that was way too late because now I'm going to be killed just because of Tulan's ult that I could not prevent. And now Telenas is going to have a hard time against Toro again. So this tower, it was damaged, but not to the fullest. So I would say that we could have had a lot better times. Toro is about to close in, so the team fight is also going to be quite difficult. Lucky enough, we are going to score him down. So my team has now the advantage to get into that tower. Telenas is trying to get Tulan here, but she does get a tower shot, which I think could have been prevented if we would have just made it a little bit earlier. So I think that has been a little bit too late in order to commit ourselves to the fullest. I'm trying to use my ultimate in order to get into the team fight right now so that I can be standing up front, baiting enemy shots and ultimates into my body. But I would say it's also it's too late. We have lost the moment of momentum. Murat is dead. People are also starting to call retreats here, and I think that was a little bit late. Like, we could have done more, and I think that tower in the middle should have been ours by now if we just have committed ourselves into that team fight. But as my team did not do it, don't even know what Malik does. It's just so lackluster. Look at that Toro. And now the whole positioning of Valheim was so good in that fight, coming from one of the rear entrances and starting to deal with our team was basically the moment of success. So that was so well played. He was waiting for the right moment to join the fight. He has been watching us and saw that we were basically occupied up in the middle. So as he saw that the team fight was still ongoing and his team didn't have the upper hand, but our team neither, he was able to get in there and completely wreck our plans. And a 14-6 Valheim is something that you need to deal with. Even if that is supposed to be the noob champion, that's nothing that you can do against it, but you need to deal with it if he is present in the game. The score is still there, so he is your one top priority, and we did not manage to play around him or against him, and that is the moment where we lost the game. So yeah, that was poorly executed from the whole team. Not accepting myself from this. 6-0 is the score, but as you can see, Murat did not really do us a favor here in this game. So the first game with the 37 patch is a loss, but I'm going to try some more ranked matches to get you new content here. And thanks for watching. If you like the game, leave a like and a subscription, and yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.